Marcus drove past the homeless girl in the rain, telling himself it wasn't his problem. But his 8-year-old daughter's innocent question changed everything. "Daddy, can we help her?" One decision to turn around would transform 3 broken lives forever. But first he had to overcome his deepest fears. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. The rain pounded against Marcus Chen's windshield as he drove through the empty streets at 2 a.m. His 8-year-old daughter Emma was fast asleep in the back seat, clutching her stuffed elephant after another long shift at the hospital where Marcus worked as a janitor. Money was tight, and he often had to bring Emma with him during his late-night cleaning jobs. As they passed under a flickering streetlight, something caught Marcus's eye. A small figure huddled against the brick wall of an old building, soaked to the bone. At first he thought it might be trash bags, but as his headlights swept across the scene, he realized it was a person. A young girl, maybe 16 or 17, trying to shield herself from the rain with a torn cardboard box. Marcus's heart clenched. He had been homeless once years ago before Emma was born. He knew that desperate feeling of having nowhere to go, no one to turn to. But he also knew the world was dangerous, especially for a single father. What if this was some kind of trap? What if helping this girl put Emma in danger? He drove past, his hands gripping the steering wheel tighter. "It's not my problem," he told himself. "I have my own daughter to worry about." But after 2 blocks, Marcus couldn't shake the image from his mind. The girl looked so small, so vulnerable. What if that was Emma in 10 years? What if his daughter was alone on the streets with no one to help her? "Daddy?" Emma's sleepy voice came from the back seat. "Why did we stop?" Marcus realized he had pulled over and was staring at his reflection in the rearview mirror. "Nothing, sweetheart. Go back to sleep." But Emma was more awake now. "Daddy, there's a girl back there. She looks cold." Marcus turned to look at his daughter. Even at 8 years old, Emma had inherited his compassionate heart. She was pointing back toward where they had seen the girl. "I know, baby. Can we help her?" The question hung in the air like a challenge. Marcus thought about all the reasons why he shouldn't get involved. He was barely making ends meet himself. He didn't know this girl's story. She could be dangerous or on drugs or running from the law. But then he looked at Emma's hopeful eyes and he remembered his own mother's words from years ago. "Marcus, we don't help people because it's easy. We help them because it's right." With a deep sigh, Marcus turned the car around. The girl looked up with frightened eyes as his car approached. She was even younger than he had thought, maybe 15, with long black hair plastered to her face and clothes that had seen better days. She scrambled to her feet, ready to run. Marcus rolled down his window slowly. "Hey," he called out gently. "Are you okay?" The girl didn't answer, just stared at him with wide, suspicious eyes. "My name is Marcus. This is my daughter Emma. We saw you from the car and—" He paused, not sure how to continue. "Look, I know you don't know us, but it's cold and wet out here. Do you have somewhere to go?" "I'm fine," the girl said quickly, but her voice was shaking from the cold. Emma leaned forward from the back seat. "Hi, I'm Emma. You look really cold. Do you want to come with us? My daddy makes really good hot chocolate." Marcus shot his daughter a look, but the girl's expression had softened slightly at Emma's innocent offer. "I don't need help," she said, but with less conviction than before. "Okay," Marcus said. "But how about this? It's late and my daughter and I were going to stop for some food anyway. There's a 24-hour diner a few blocks away. You could come with us, get warm, maybe have something to eat. No strings attached. If you want to leave after that, you can." The girl hesitated, looking between Marcus and Emma. "Why would you help me? You don't even know me." "Because everyone deserves kindness," Emma said matter-of-factly. "That's what my daddy taught me." After a long moment, the girl nodded slowly. "Okay, but just for a little while." Her name was Luna Rodriguez, and she was 16 years old. As they sat in the warm diner, sharing pancakes and hot chocolate, her story slowly came out. She had aged out of the foster care system 6 months ago and had been living on the streets ever since. She had tried staying in shelters, but they were often full or unsafe. She had been working odd jobs when she could find them, but it was never enough for a real place to live. "I'm not looking for a handout," Luna said defensively. "I can take care of myself." "I believe you," Marcus said. "But that doesn't mean you have to do it alone." Emma, who had been quietly coloring on her placemat, looked up at Luna. "Do you have any family?" Luna's face darkened. "My mom died when I was 12. Never knew my dad. Been in foster care since then, but—" She shrugged. "Let's just say some homes aren't really homes." Marcus felt a familiar ache in his chest. He knew about difficult families, about feeling unwanted and alone. "What about school?" he asked. "I was supposed to graduate this year," Luna said quietly. "But when I aged out of my last foster home, I had to drop out. Couldn't keep up with school and trying to survive." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, the only sounds being the rain against the windows and the quiet chatter of the few other late-night customers. "Where are you staying tonight?" Marcus finally asked. Luna shrugged. "I'll find somewhere." Marcus looked at his daughter, who was now leaning against his arm, fighting sleep. He thought about their small two-bedroom apartment, about the couch in the living room, about all the reasons why taking in a stranger was a terrible idea. Then he thought about his mother's words again, and about the man he wanted to be for Emma. "You can stay with us tonight," he said. "Just for tonight until you figure out your next step." Luna's eyes widened. I can't. You don't even know me." "Sometimes trust has to start somewhere," Marcus said. The next morning, Marcus woke up to the smell of bacon and eggs. He found Luna in the kitchen, cooking breakfast while Emma sat at the table, chattering away about her favorite cartoons. "You didn't have to do this," Marcus said. Luna turned around, her face flushed. "I wanted to. It's the least I could do after you helped me." "Daddy, Luna makes the best scrambled eggs," Emma announced. "Even better than yours." Marcus laughed. "Well, that's not saying much. I'm a terrible cook." As they ate breakfast together, Marcus found himself watching Luna interact with Emma. She was patient and kind, listening to Emma's stories with genuine interest. There was something about her that reminded him of himself at that age, tough on the outside but fragile underneath. "I should probably go," Luna said after they finished eating. "I don't want to impose any longer." "Where will you go?" Emma asked innocently. Luna hesitated. "I'll figure something out. I always do." Marcus made a decision that surprised even himself. "What if you didn't have to figure it out alone?" Both Luna and Emma looked at him curiously. "I mean," Marcus continued, feeling his way through the idea, "you need a place to stay and I could use help with Emma. I work nights and finding reliable childcare is—" He shrugged. "Maybe we could help each other." Luna stared at him. "You're offering me a job?" "I'm offering you a home," Marcus said simply. "If you want it. You could help with Emma, maybe finish school. We're not rich, but we have enough." "But why?" Luna asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Why would you do this for me?" Marcus thought about his answer carefully. "A few years ago I was in a bad place. Emma's mom had left us, I was working 3 jobs just to make rent, and I felt like I was drowning. A stranger helped me then, gave me a chance when no one else would. Maybe it's time I passed that kindness forward." Emma clapped her hands together. "Does this mean Luna can be my big sister?" Luna's eyes filled with tears. I don't know what to say." "Say yes," Emma said simply. "We're good at being a family." Over the next few weeks, Luna slowly settled into their life. She enrolled in night school to finish her diploma, while Marcus arranged his work schedule so he could be home with Emma in the evenings. Luna proved to be wonderful with Emma, patient, creative, and protective in a way that warmed Marcus's heart. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Luna had been on her own for so long that trusting others didn't come easily. She often tried to leave money on the kitchen counter for expenses, despite Marcus's protests. She cleaned obsessively as if trying to earn her place in their home. And sometimes, Marcus would find her sitting by the window late at night, staring out at the street with a look of longing he couldn't quite understand. "Do you miss it?" he asked her one night. "Being on your own?" Luna was quiet for a long moment. "Sometimes," she admitted. "Not the being cold or hungry part, but when you're on your own you don't have to worry about disappointing anyone. You don't have to be afraid that they'll decide you're not worth keeping around." Marcus sat down beside her. "Luna, you're not a burden. You're family. But what if I mess up? What if I'm not good enough at this?" "Then you learn and try again," Marcus said. "That's what families do. We don't give up on each other." The breakthrough came 3 months later when Emma got sick with the flu. Marcus had to work a double shift at the hospital, and Luna stayed home to take care of her. When Marcus returned the next morning, exhausted and worried, he found Emma feeling much better and Luna asleep in the chair beside her bed. "Luna took really good care of me, Daddy," Emma said. "She made me soup and read me stories and even slept in my room in case I needed anything." That's when Marcus knew for certain that Luna wasn't just staying with them, she was home. The real test came 6 months later, when Luna's former foster father, Derek Morrison, showed up at their door. He was a large, intimidating man with cold eyes and a cruel smile. Well, he said, pushing past Marcus into the apartment. Look who's been hiding from me. Luna, who had been helping Emma with homework at the kitchen table, went pale. Derek, how did you find me? Wasn't hard. Small town, and you always were predictable. His eyes swept over the apartment, taking in the warm, homey details. Nice setup you got here. Playing house with this family? What do you want? Luna asked, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. Derek smiled nastily. What I've always wanted. You owe me, Luna. After everything I did for you, taking you in when no one else would, feeding you, giving you a roof over your head. You mean after you made my life hell for 4 years? Luna shot back, finding her courage. After you locked me in closets and told me I was worthless? After you? Careful, Derek warned, his voice dropping dangerously low. You wouldn't want to say something you'd regret. Emma, sensing the tension, moved closer to Luna. Marcus stepped forward, placing himself between Derek and his family. I think you should leave, Marcus said calmly. Derek laughed. This doesn't concern you, friend. This is between me and my daughter. I'm not your daughter, Luna said firmly. I never was. The state said otherwise for 4 years. And you know what? I've been thinking about those years, about all the money the state paid me to take care of you. Money you cost me when you ran away. Derek's smile turned predatory. I figure you owe me. With interest. She doesn't owe you anything, Marcus said, his voice still calm but with an edge of steel underneath. Derek sized Marcus up, clearly deciding whether he was worth the trouble. Look, I'm not here to cause problems. Luna knows what's right. Don't you, Luna? For a moment, Luna looked like the frightened girl Marcus had found on the street all those months ago. But then Emma grabbed her hand, and something shifted in Luna's expression. No, she said quietly. I don't know what's right according to you, Derek. But I know what's right according to me. And what's right is that you leave. Now. Derek's expression darkened. You think these people actually care about you? You think this is going to last? They'll get tired of you eventually, just like everyone else. And when they do, you'll have nowhere to go. Yes, she will, Emma said suddenly, her young voice ringing clear in the tense room. She'll always have somewhere to go because she's my sister, and this is her home. Marcus felt a surge of pride at his daughter's words. Emma's right. Luna is family. And we protect our family. Derek looked between them, his plan clearly not going as expected. This isn't over, he said finally. Yes, it is, Marcus replied. And if you come back here again, I'll call the police. After Derek left, Luna collapsed onto the couch, shaking. Emma immediately climbed up beside her, wrapping her small arms around Luna's waist. He's wrong, you know, Emma said seriously. We're never going to get tired of you. Luna hugged Emma tightly, tears streaming down her face. I was so scared, she whispered. For a minute I thought maybe he was right. Marcus sat down on Luna's other side. He wasn't right about anything. You belong here, Luna. With us. For as long as you want to stay. Forever? Luna asked, her voice small and hopeful. Forever, Marcus confirmed. 1 year later, Marcus stood in the courthouse, wearing his best suit and holding official papers in his trembling hands. Luna, now 17 and about to graduate high school, stood beside him in a simple blue dress that Emma had helped her pick out. Emma, now 9 and missing 2 front teeth, bounced excitedly between them. By the power vested in me by the state, the judge said solemnly, I hereby declare the adoption final. Luna Rodriguez, you are now legally Luna Chin, daughter of Marcus Chin and sister to Emma Chin. The small courtroom erupted in applause from the few friends they had invited, Marcus's co-workers from the hospital, Luna's night school teachers, and Mrs. Patterson from next door who had become like a grandmother to both girls. As they walked out of the courthouse, Luna linked arms with Marcus and Emma. I can't believe it's real, she said, staring at the adoption certificate. Believe it, Marcus said, his own eyes misty. You're stuck with us now. Good, Luna laughed. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Emma tugged on Luna's dress. Does this mean you can never leave us now? Luna knelt down to Emma's level. I was never going to leave you anyway, Em. But yes, this makes it official. I'm your big sister forever and always. Promise? Promise? As they walked toward their car, Marcus reflected on how much their lives had changed since that rainy night 18 months ago. Luna had graduated high school with honors and received a full scholarship to the local community college. She wanted to study social work, to help other kids who had been in situations like hers. Emma had blossomed with a big sister to look up to, becoming more confident and outgoing. Her teachers said she was more mature than other kids her age, with an unusual capacity for empathy and kindness. And Marcus? Well, Marcus had learned that family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about choice. Sometimes it's about seeing someone who needs love and deciding to provide it, even when it's scary or uncertain. "Daddy," Emma said as they reached the car, "remember that night when we found Luna?" "I remember. I'm glad we stopped. I'm glad we helped her." Marcus looked at Luna, who was wiping happy tears from her eyes, and then at Emma, whose face was bright with joy. "Me too, sweetheart. Me too." That night, as they celebrated with Luna's favorite dinner, spaghetti and meatballs, and a homemade cake that Emma had decorated with slightly crooked letters spelling family, Marcus watched his daughters laugh together and felt a contentment he had never known before. Luna caught him staring and smiled. "What are you thinking about?" "Just how funny life is. How one small decision to turn around and help a stranger can change everything." "Do you regret it?" Luna asked. "Taking a chance on me?" Marcus looked around at their modest but warm home, at the drawings Emma and Luna had made together covering the refrigerator, at the pile of textbooks on the table where Luna studied every night after putting Emma to bed, at the family photos they had taken together over the past year. "Never," he said firmly. "You're the best thing that happened to us, Luna. Both of us." Luna's eyes filled with tears again. "I love you guys so much." "We love you too," Emma said, throwing herself into Luna's arms. "Forever and always." As Marcus tucked Emma into bed that night, she asked him a question that made him pause. "Daddy, are there other kids out there who need families like Luna did?" "Probably," Marcus said carefully. Emma was quiet for a moment. "Maybe someday we could help them too." Marcus smiled, thinking of his mother's words about kindness, about how it spreads from person to person like ripples in a pond. "Maybe we could, Em. Maybe we could." Outside, it started to rain again just like it had that first night. But inside their home, three people who had found each other against all odds were safe and warm and loved. And sometimes, Marcus thought as he turned off Emma's light, that's the most beautiful miracle of all. This story reminds us that kindness costs nothing but can change everything. Sometimes the family we choose becomes more precious than the one we're born into, and sometimes helping a stranger helps us find exactly what we didn't know we were looking for.